Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA. Online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Wednesday, August 31st, 2016, when I'm recording the show, and it is 8:27 p.m. And, sorry, I just dropped the dog, a little white dog that we're watching named Hunter. I got to tell you, man, I am out of gas. I got probably about 3 hours tops sleep last night. I decided to sleep in the room with the new puppies last night to give my wife a break. She had been sleeping in there with them. I'm kind of trying to make sure that the mother dog doesn't roll on top of him or anything. And I gave her a break last night because she was on no sleep. So I laid in there and I must have woken up every 15 minutes to move those puppies. And wow, am I just flat out beat. And I was sitting down here in my studio ready to do a show probably about 45 minutes ago. And I've been sitting here for 45 minutes waiting for iTunes to load. So I'm fucking flat out beat, man. So what I did, so today was the first day that my wife went to work. Pardon me, hold on, I'm going to take a sip of this fine Height beer, courtesy of my friend Chiaki. I just finished the Height. I had the Height with dinner. Tonight's dinner was from the CSA, the meat share. It was pork cheeks. I put them into sous vide for 72 hours. Sous vide's a vacuum. You submerge them in water. You put them in a Ziploc bag. I put some olive oil and salt and pepper and put them in the Ziploc bag, and you dunk it under the water, and you stick the Anova sous vide cooker in it, and it circulates the water. I think I set it to like 135 or something like that, and I cooked it for 72 hours. And I would rather have had beef cheek, but I didn't have any beef cheeks, so it takes a long time to cook. So because it's kind of a tough cut of meat, but it's a very tasty cut of meat, especially the beef cheeks. But I only had pork cheeks, so I put them in the sous vide for 72 hours. And tonight was 72 hours, so we had those for dinner tonight. Took them out, seared them with the Iwatani torch, sliced them thin, and I put them on top of mashed potatoes, and on top of that I put some sautéed cremini mushrooms. It was a good dinner, and with that I had this Height beer that Chiaki left over from the crawfish boil. Height is delicious when you're eating food with it, but as soon as you start to drink Height by itself, to me it's almost undrinkable. It goes from being a very delicious beer to an almost undrinkable beer, just like that, when there's no food with it. It's one of those kind of beers. There's not many of those kind of beers for me, but that is one of them. So I need to open up another beer here. Hold on a second. I'm going to find one of these fine Tecates. And this will be the second beer of the day. I put it in the Yeti koozie. Let me take a sip of this fine Tecate. Oh, yeah. They're right. The second beer is the best. All right. So where was I? I don't know. Oh, my wife went to work today. She had the last 2 days off. The puppies were born on Sunday night, and she had Monday and Tuesday off to spend with the dogs. And today there was nobody to be at home with the dogs. So Brian, my son, installed this Nest camera. It's actually a drop camera before Google bought them out. So it's not HD, but it really helped. I'm actually sitting here watching the dogs in my office right now. I can sit there and watch this all day. There's something about puppies nursing their mom. It's just fascinating to watch. All right. What am I going to do tonight? I have an audio comment. Let me play it here.
This is a comment from the Rock and Roll Negro.
The self-proclaimed rock and roll Negro, friend of mine and friend of the show, Michael Kirk. How you doing, Michael Kirk?
Hi, Michael Butler. How are you?
I am super great. Could not be better.
You know, other than this sinus infection I have, I am actually super great and couldn't be better myself.
I'm glad to hear it.
I'm just leaving you a comment because I wanted to let you know that I am enjoying the dog days of podcasting.
Very nice. You are.
But then
You're
again,
the one.
I have always really enjoyed hearing the mundane things that people do on a daily basis. Your podcasts that you do during this time of year are really interesting because...
Is this a ass kissing with Butler? Do I need to find the sound? I think I might have to find the sound clip.
I find myself getting more interested in the things that you do, like, you know, when you go fishing or go to the market and different things like that, because I like to cook. I am certainly not gourmet quality in the way that I handle my culinary business, but I do get ideas from you, and it does help to get me to open up my palate and what I'm willing to try, which is probably a bad thing for my kids, but probably a good thing for my wife. So oh, wait. Speaking of wives and whatnot, congratulations to you and Tina for being puppy parents.
Oh, yes, thank you.
That's extremely exciting.
And extremely exhausting.
But I do think that when you ever thought that you and Tina could drift into some sort of couple swap or foursome, it was...
Hold on a second. I found the clip. Here you go. Is it gonna play? I need an intro for the Ass Kiss of the Week segment too, please. Somebody.
It would be my pleasure to have you kiss my hiney. Kiss my ass.
All right. There you go. Back to you, Michael Kirk, Rock and Roll Negro, self-proclaimed Rock and Roll Negro.
Extremely exciting. But I do think that when you ever thought that you and Tina could drift into some sort of couple swap or foursome, it was not what you thought it was going to be.
No.
You holding down the feet and her holding the stud bull dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were thinking more along the me, Tina, some really hot, cute chick, and a big black bull.
Would his name be Michael Kirk, the big black bull?
Or not. Anyway, all right, so the whole point of me sending this comment is that I wanted to kind of do a getting to know Butler thing with you, but
you get to know I'm fucking beat. That's you get to know me right there. I'm beat.
Technique.
Bass playing. He wants to know my bass playing technique. Okay.
And I play relatively well, not well enough to play in a band or anything, but I do enjoy what I do. So, what I want to know, when it comes to your technique.
My technique.
And I know you are.
My technique is very unorthodox for bass players. I will tell you that first of all before I hear your question. But I have a technique that's unlike any other bass player.
Pete Way disciple.
Yes, I'm a disciple of Pete Way from UFO.
Do you ever get fancy? Do you ever sit down and do some slap bass?
No.
Maybe do some chords? Maybe,
I play mostly chords, believe it or not, Michael Kirk. Most of my bass playing consists of chords. I play it sort of like a rhythm guitar. But I do not play slap and pop bass. To me, I think if you slap and pop a rock and roll bass, you have cursed it.
Do your best Billy Sheehan shredding.
No, I'm not much
impression.
of a shredder.
You know, do you ever do that?
Lately I'm getting a little bit more shredding, but it's the most shredding I do would be more like Dennis Dunaway from Alice Cooper, who I consider probably the greatest bass player other than John Entwistle.
My other question is, do you prefer to pluck or pick?
I use a pick. Do not play with my fingers. I have, when I first started, I would use my fingers, but I quickly moved to a pick.
And based upon your answer of that question,
would you like to know what kind of pick I use? I use a Rock and Roll Geek pick, and it is 88 or .88, whatever it is. I guess it would be millimeters or something. It's .88 on the pick scale.
pick that particular method?
Wait a minute. What's that? Hold on. I missed that question.
And based upon your answer of that question, why do you pick that particular method?
Because, believe it or not, I'm a Pete Way disciple, and Pete Way played with his fingers. I just play more like a guitar, so it seems to me more natural to play with a pick, if that makes any sense. Some of my favorite bass players actually is Rob LaGrange from Ted Nugent's original Ted Nugent band. I think he might have used his fingers too. The only bass player that I really liked that I followed a lot that played with the pick was Dee Dee Ramone. Other than that, I think I play with a pick. I hope anybody cares about this, but if not, that's okay. The only reason I really play with a pick is because I play more like it's a guitar.
Also, other than Pete Way, who do you like as a bass player?
My current favorite bass player is Stig Peterson from DAD. The guy plays a 2-string bass. None of his basses have any more than 2 strings on them. And the guy, he has really cool basses, and he wears really outlandish costumes on stage, and I think the guy is really cool. It's my favorite bass player right now. Other than that, I love Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. Plays with his fingers. Stig Peterson, I believe, plays with a pick. Those are probably my 2 favorite bass players, Steve Harris and Stig Peterson. And Pete Way.
And my final question, as far as your bass playing prowess is concerned, would be this. If
I'm
you
listening.
Could have played in a thrash band,
I did.
which you did in Exodus.
Yes.
But do that for the rest of your career. Or play in a band like, say, Cheap Trick. Which one would you choose?
I play in Cheap Trick,
And
absolutely,
why?
because Cheap Trick is the greatest band in the world. That's why.
And finally,
Although, I will say the thrash metal is really fun to play, but Cheap Trick, come on. Greatest songs of any band.
this isn't really a question as much of it as being a suggestion. But could you please throw this idea at Natalie
Okay.
and Featherwitch? Because
She's not going to have sex with you, if that's the question.
I've told you to do it before, but you always forget because that's what you do. And
Yes.
I even mentioned it to David Benda, but he says he has absolutely no influence over anything that the girls in Featherwitch do.
Okay.
Please do a cover of "Stranger" by Jefferson Starship.
Strange. I don't even
really
know how
think
that
the
song
girls
goes.
could kick some serious ass on
How's that
one.
song go?
Really, I do. Anyway, that's all I got.
I don't know the
I
song.
hope you use this because it's not the worst comment you can
No,
possibly
it's not the
get.
worst.
Thanks, man.
All right, Michael Kirk, self-proclaimed rock and roll Negro. Thank you for calling, friend. I hope I answered your questions. And if you're a Dog Days of Podcast Dog Days listener, I don't even know what it's called at this point. I'm so deliriously tired. I think we're in day 28 of the Dog Days of Podcasting, I believe. So that means there's 2 days to go after this one. Like I said, I'm gonna do a show while I'm duck hunting, so I will be doing more than 30 days. So I hope you like that. Day 28 of the Dog Days of Podcasting. Find out more about the Dog Days of Podcasting at dogdaysofpodcasting.com. You can find this show at rockandrollgeek.com. Find me on the Facebook R&R Geek. Find me on the Twitter R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. You can do like Michael Kirk, the self-proclaimed rock and roll Negro, did, and email me an audio file to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com, or you can just dial it into your phone, area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. I am going to post this episode and attempt to sleep because I have a very busy day tomorrow, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about because I am just completely out of it. But friends, I take a sip of this fine Tecate to you. And if you've been listening to all 28 days of the dog days of podcasting, I take a sip of this fine Tecate to you. All right, friends, we'll talk to you tomorrow. In honor of the dogs, I'm going to play a song by The Angels, an Australian band. This is from an album called Beyond Salvation. This song is called Dogs Are Talking. Dogs Are Talking. We'll talk to you tomorrow, friends.
There comes a time in a young girl's life when she first meets a man. There comes a time in a young girl's life when she becomes a woman.
Highway number 19, moon shining bright. She's been in my dreams. If it's ever gonna happen, it'll happen tonight. Talk to me, talk to me. Tell me what you're gonna do. Come to me, come to me. Are we gonna see it through? So you got a reputation. Well, I do too. All across the nation, there are guys hanging out to meet girls like you. And the dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. Heartbreaker, heartbreaker, with a jelly roll skin. Love maker, love maker. Ain't you gonna let me in? Backseat, backseat. You know you gotta loosen up. Body heat, body heat. Don't stop now, don't stop, don't stop. The dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. Let them talk, talk. The dogs are talking. Dogs are talking. Dogs are talking. Cool down. You don't wanna go home. Turn around, turn around. We're gonna scream and moan. Talk to me, talk to me. What's your number, what's your name? Give me more, give me more. Gotta do it again, again, again. Dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. Let them talk, talk. The dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. The dogs are talking. Talk, talk. Talk, talk. Talk, talk. All the dogs are talking. Talk, talk, talk.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.